Ladies and gentlemen, I got to witness a cinematic masterpiece, The Iron Giant. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying this is amazing. And so I watched it on Hulu, and I thought everyone was right. This is amazing. This movie marked the directorial debut for one of the greatest animated filmmakers out there, Brad Bird, who would later go on to direct Incredibles, Ratatouille, and would even go on to do some live action like Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol and Tomorrowland. Unfortunately, while this movie did receive a lot of was critically acclaimed, this didn't do well at the box office, sadly. I think it was marketing. The marketing is what led to it bombing. And marketing is a big part of promoting a movie. And your movie, to see if it does well or if it doesn't do well. Now, let's talk about the movie. This movie is just spectacular. I don't have the words to describe it. I think the first thing we should talk about is the animation. I feel like back in the day, in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, 2D animation was made for art. It was to tell fascinating, great, amazing stories. Like The Lion King. And of course, this movie. Also, I've heard, also Prince of Egypt. I haven't seen Prince of Egypt or Lion King, but I can tell, they're pretty good. Because, these things are iconic. I'm getting sidetracked. Alright. But the animation is great. In nighttime, sunsets, snow, everything here just has a nice movement, and the art style is great. Even blending in 2D and CG animation, it's really good in here too. Alright, let's talk casting. Okay, this cast does a great job in the movie. First off, you have Vin Diesel doing the Iron Giant. And that's amazing. When I first heard about this movie, I never knew Vin Diesel was voicing the robot. I think this has to be one of Vin Diesel's earliest performances, and some of his best performances. Next, you have Jennifer Aniston voicing the mother of this movie. And then, also the person who voices Ogarth in this movie, phenomenal, okay? Now, okay, so we've already talked about some of the casting in this movie. Let's talk about some of their performances. Mainly, Ogarth. Now, this one scene where the giant, he's just resting in the scrapyard, just playing with his toy car. Ogarth talks to the giant about life. This moment is pitch perfect. He tells him that, he's a robot, but, he has emotions, and with those emotions, he has a soul, and souls don't die. That's a really powerful, meaningful message. It's something you really don't see in a lot of stuff today, mainly in animation stuff. Because nowadays, everything's focused on, fast-paced, wacky action, in your face, bam, 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 bam. But back then, it wasn't like that. No. Back then, movies were made, for art. For this movie. It had meaning behind it. So many things, can relate to life. I also really appreciate in this movie, that some of these characters, they're not, hang on. Something I appreciate also in this, these characters were allowed to swear in some parts. Because, it's kind of like in Shrek. No, wait, hold on. Sorry, because Brad Bird, his way of filmmaking is more, mature and kind of, made for adults, but they can be enjoyed for kids. Kind of like how Shea Phillips pointed it out in his Best Animated Feature video. Because this movie feels like The Incredibles and Ratatouille. Well, I mean, of course, they're both by the same people, and they have a nice like something else. Hang on a second. I want to talk about something else. That now, like Iron, if there's one thing that Iron Giant and Incredibles have in common besides being directed by the same person, is the music. Now, the music in Iron Giant is phenomenal. Okay, I love it. It just feels so epic, grand. It gets me pumped. It puts a smile on my face. And while listening, and I listened at the end credits, like I just wanted, I watched the end credits just so I can listen to the glorious music, and it had some like '60s little feel to it, which is also something you could have heard in The Incredibles. That's just something I wanted to point out. Also, I saw this hidden A113 reference when he goes inside, when... Oh shoot, I forgot the character's name. Oh man. But he goes inside this place, and then you could just see an A113. It's a nice hidden reference. And then, like, the scene where the giant tells Ogarth, that's his name, where he tells him, "You stay, me go." Like, that moment, that can get you right in there. Like, it's something that can tug in a lot of people's heartstrings. That's what a lot of movies do. And while, like, and people say, like, they cried in it, like, well, they cried during the ending. Like, I didn't cry, like, because, like, I usually don't cry when watching a whole lot of movies. But, like, I could still feel the emotions from these characters, okay? Like, I mean, we care about these characters, and it's really, really sad when Giant sacrifices himself to stop this nuclear bomb. One other character I forgot to mention is this little agent. Or, hold on, what's his name again? Just give me a little moment. Iron Giant villain. Okay, the villain is Kent Mansley. Now, like, this character is like a scumbag. I mean, like, I don't hate the character, but it's just like, this is a character, like, he's really villainous. Like, you just, I mean, in some parts I like him, in some parts I hate him. Well, it's hard to describe. I mean, all this stuff is unscripted. Like, I don't have anything I'm saying. It's not planned, but the actions he does is, like, really dark and stuff. I mean, like, when towards the end, when the general is, oh shoot, it's dark. Let me turn on a flashlight. Now, during the end, like, when the general is telling them men to hold fire, he just walks in and he just tells them to, like, fire the missile. Like, it shows, like, he is a villain and he doesn't care. He's just a kind of a douchebag. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe this character. Overall, like, The Iron Giant is a great masterpiece of a movie. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I just don't have... I'm left speechless by this movie, like, how great it is. It's one I'd watch again. Oh, and also, Brad Bird, if you are watching this, I just want to say, you are a genius. Like, you've made some great animated movies, and, like, and I can't wait to see what you bring out next. Okay? Thank you.